Belgium. Okay. So adjust the window a little bit. Okay, I've got, let's see. So you'll notice here the ground looks like this has the, round distorted area. That's, somewhat older coverage usually. But yeah, so we can see here, that if we, that we have sort of a typical, northern hemisphere forest environment. Um, since this is Belgium, we notice that it doesn't seem to be really flat. Um, so this sort of forested appearance and not really flat in Belgium means that you're near Luxembourg. Um, there's this area of Belgium is known as the Ardennes. Um, and that it has substantial hills. I think, as I remember, the highest point in the country is actually something like 700 meters above sea level. Um, somewhere down in this area. Um, what's it called? Signal de Botrange, um, is I think the name of the mountain peak. Um, and I can't remember offhand where it is though. I believe it's over near Liège here. Um, okay, so here we have French, which confirms that we're in the south if we didn't believe it from the landscape, and we have Aubange and Batincourt. Okay, so um, so we take a quick look. We can. I thought Aubange was down near. Yeah, there it is. Aubange is. It's near. It's near this corner. Of Luxembourg, Belgium, and France. So in that. So it's near. Esch-sur-Alzette in in Luxembourg and near Longwy in France. So we have Aubange. Um, Yeah, I'm thinking Batincourt is a smaller village within the municipality. Aubange is fairly large. Yeah, there's Batincourt. Okay. And then we have Rue de l'Étang. Um, okay, and here we have Rue, Rue de la Marquise. Okay, and we didn't get to precisely locate it, but yeah, there's Rue de l'Étang. It was where we started. Okay, so this looks more like the Netherlands, right? I mean, it doesn't look like the Netherlands because, the Netherlands is very precise in, its appearance, everything is very standardized. Um, but for instance, like you can see the Dutch sort of pavement here with the bricks. Um, okay, these are, very clearly non-Dutch signs with Dutch names on them. We have Lennik, Eilingen, and Halle. Um, so quite visibly non-French. We have Pepping in Centrum. The Centrum on the side suggests that this is probably someplace that's quite close by, is Peppingen. Um, so, yeah, the other thing that's interesting is that it's not very flat here. Um, that not very flat. Um, combined with being in Dutch-speaking Belgium, I think means that you're over in this corner. Um, the this area, it is known as Limburg in both the Netherlands and in Belgium. Um, and like the cheese, Limburger. Um, we have Peppingen Centrum. Okay, and we have Lennik, Eilingen, and Halle. Oh, I think Halle is up here, isn't it? Um, I want to say it is. Like let's see, is it near Turnhout? No. Um, yeah, I know there's of course Halle in near Leipzig in eastern Germany, but there is a Halle in Belgium. I remember it. Lennik also sounds familiar. Let's plunk it in Hasselt. Um, yeah, maybe I was thinking of Essen as being up here. Another place that's in Germany but is also in Belgium. Um, okay, 83 kilometers away. It was closer to Brussels. Corn, not that common in Northern Europe, but Belgium is relatively warm in the summer. It does all right there. Um, generally in Europe, you don't find corn in places with lower summer temperatures. Scotland, Sweden, um, and then corn is most common, in the southeast in Europe. In Ukraine, um, especially Romania, Moldova. Um, Not that Moldova would come up, but um, let's see, 0494. I think the I looked at the phone numbers before coming on here, and oh, that's right. That four is not fours are mostly non-geographic, and I think that's what it is. That four also can indicate that you're in Kent, but I think that's not the case here. Also, I think that sign was in Dutch. So this is, nice and flat. Mostly, I mean, it being this flat probably means that we're, in, in Flanders or Brabant here. The main populated part of the country. Um, let's see, we have Witte. Um, yeah, wait, there's a sign, a location sign. Um, okay, we are Vauman and Dixmude. Um, let's see. Yeah, Dixmude sounds familiar. Wauman. Um, yeah, and following the sign before, one of those is the municipality, and then one is the specific village within it. Um, let's see. Dixmude also it means the mouth of something. Dick. Um, so that may indicate a coastal location, or it might not. Like the Dick could be, like some a tributary of some other river. Um, okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So it was over here. Let's see, Blancart. Um, oh, there's Dixmoda there. Okay, so the smaller print then it was again the generalized municipality that has this large village at its center. Um, okay, we have Vanna. Okay, so here we have um, Dutch-looking names combined with French. So we may be near the border. Again, we have hills, indicating, yeah, these are substantial. We have to be on the edge of the Ardennes, um, but that thinking about trying to get Ardennes and proximity to Dutch is somewhat difficult. Right. I'm thinking maybe it could actually be, but I'm thinking this is near the Meuse Valley here. Uh, the Meuse Valley is this line of cities, Liège, Huy, Namur, Charleroi, La Louvière, Mons, and then, the line continues into France off the river, so there's Valenciennes, Douai, Lens, Béthune. This boundary corresponds to the southern limit of glacial flattening in Europe. Um, so it's a feature similar to, if you're, so for North Americans here, similar to how the glaciers flattened land around like Chicago and Cleveland, but, then that flat area comes to an abrupt end where the glaciers stopped, around Dayton and Indianapolis. Um, and there's a similar feature in Western Europe that, follows that line, roughly from Calais to Aachen. Um, okay, so I think it's over here, right? Um, but let's see, did I? Okay, okay, we have Volontiers. Okay, so we have French again. We have is this place called Enal or Na? Um, Enal. Hmm. Got 17 seconds left, so we're unlikely to find it. Yeah, architecture here you'll notice also is very similar to France. It's okay. So it turned out to be even closer to Luxembourg than I thought. So yeah, there's Enal. Uh, and that's probably again a village, within a larger municipality that might be found on some signs. Um, okay, so this is flat. Um, let's see. So this, I think, may be Dutch speaking. This looks Catholic, which in Belgium doesn't tell you anything. Belgian Dutch people, are also predominantly Catholic. Um, okay, we have 312. That's a bike path numbered 312 though, so it's probably not on the map. I mean, maybe Google Maps has those in the Netherlands, but the Netherlands, a huge number of people, riding bikes, no helmets. They're very into it. The Dutch also insist that it's safe for them to ride bikes with helmets, which you know, uh, I think that like maybe they are a bit strange about that. They do have, I mean, the Dutch do have the best bicycle infrastructure in the world, but like you still want to take safety precautions. Um, uh, Lummenzollder. I remember there's Yeah, it's near Aachen. There's Houstenzolder. But I mean I think that's in the Netherlands and not in yeah, I'm wondering if that just means factory or something, also, now we've established that the local language is Dutch, which uh, there are actually both Dutch and French speaking areas near Aachen. Most of the population in that corner, though, is in the Dutch speaking area. There's also near Aachen, there's the town Eupen, which has German, oddly, as its official language. There's a tiny piece of Belgium. We have Watermolenstraat. Oh, that has the town on it. Um, yeah. Also, on the road there, you could see the line of triangles marking, which is very similar to France. Uh, okay. I must have never played Belgium before if I got a bronze for that. Um, because it's not like that was a particularly good game. Okay, so we've got our. Okay, so we'll play this again. Um, let's see. So it's flat, it's much more forested though, which suggests a southern location um in Belgium. Losheimer Graben. Oh, that's German. Okay, this has to be so I mentioned before, yes, there is German speaking Belgium, just to make their linguistic situation, even more complicated. It's around Eupen. Um, let's see, Losheimer Graben. Hmm. Yeah. As for how I could tell that that's German and not Dutch, I'm not sure how you do that without knowledge of the languages, that oh, that there, we have found the cyclists with helmets. That tells us that we are not in the Netherlands. Okay, there's a bollard. Okay, we have the chevrons are white with white with red. Um, okay. Yeah, here we have Aus or something, that this is again a German sign. Um, okay, and then this tells us that we are leaving Buchholz, uh, also a very German name. Now, the German-speaking area is small. We may be able to find, like, I'm thinking, is Buchholz up in the hills up here? The other thought that I have is I think I've run into these things like closer to Luxembourg also. Losheimer Graben, that was Buchholz. Okay. Um, so we return to start. We're on kind of a north-south road. Um, I'm thinking we could be here. Um, that does look like it matches, actually. Yeah, also, there was a blur on that side. It might be Germany over there. Um, no, I'm kidding. In fact, like this doesn't match this, but oh wait, I went south. That's the reason why it looks different. Yeah. Um, so okay, I was over here. I was somewhere near gorgeous mansion with swimming pool. Um, okay, we have Rue du Notariat. There's a town name on that sign. Um, Okay, so here we have an old town, right? Probably yeah, the thing is these kind of brick buildings you can't really determine the age of, like the first thought that you have is 19th century, right? Especially like, yeah, those lintels there over the windows, look like maybe it could be later, like it could be early 20th century. Um, which in Europe early 20th century is almost new, it's okay. So we've got pharmacy in okay. Uh Rue de Notariat, that's where we came out of that thing that looks like an alleyway entrance. Um is this silly? It's very silly here. Okay. Um so we have it's French speaking. It's called silly. Um let's see, what do I think? Is this relatively flat? I think it is. So it could be closer to Lille and and be relatively flat and French speaking. Um, oh, it's Rudy Demott. Yeah, sort of a long story about as to how I know who this guy is, but yeah, he's from yeah, I think he's sort of a national level politician though, so that doesn't really tell us anything. I oddly know where he's from, but let's see. We have Engien, Vasily Samarkul. Okay, yeah, Engien sounds familiar, but I don't know where it is. Uh, French-speaking area. You can see the corner here with the boundary of France is, that Mouscron is French-speaking and Kortrijk is Dutch-speaking. Um, then we have Engien, Vasily. Yeah, I thought Enghien was close to France. Over here somewhere. Maybe it isn't. But oh, there's Silly. Okay, and I got it just in time for it to time out, so we didn't get to very carefully. Yeah, so there's this little Rue du Notariat. Then, so we came out onto this Place Communale. Um, which then is the street name is Rue Docteur Hubert Dubois, but that this is referred to as oh wait, there's actually a Place Communal over there, which makes me wonder what it means. Uh, and here there's Église de la Sainte Vierge de Silly, which is the Church of Our Lady of Silly. Okay. Um. Okay, this is really flat. Uh, Looks like it may even be a little sandy, So I'm thinking that, this is going to be, near Bruges and Ostend. Um, Bruges is called Brugge in Dutch, and Ostend is called Ostende. Um, Google using the conventional English names for the towns. This being, close to England, there are quite a few of those. Some of them rather obscure and not used by Google. They don't like for instance, Lille, across the border in France is not marked Lyle on Google, Lisle, the archaic name. They've gone with actual French on that. Okay, we have big windmills, and not the Dutch kind, like the modern industrial windmill kind. So yeah, I'm thinking that this is, near the coastline from the generalized appearance, but there are dunes on the coastline, like so we can't be that close to it. In fact, those may be the dunes right there with the uh with the windmills. Um so now we're on this road. Let's see. We have Morkakirka, Skipodonk, 35.3. Oh, these are the bicycle path signs. We have Heist and Rumskapella. There's Knokke Heist up there, Heist on See. So we're up here. Um, okay, so this little street was it does have a name here. Um, uh, Zeekanalweg. Okay. So okay, see Canal Way, like which. Let's see. So which way was Heist? 7.1 that way. Also, is Dama that direction? Hmm. So where could it be? It could be like down this way. Um, right, Heist. I don't know, 7 kilometers would put you probably near Blankenberge at least, if not farther. Um, okay. Oh, that must be the canal. Right, right. Remember, it was called. Oh, this was Oostkerkestraat we were on. So where was it? Yeah, so we ended up on Zeekanalsweg and out onto this road, and so that's called Zeekanalsweg because of the canal here. Referred to as Zeekanal. Um, yeah, I don't know offhand where that originates. It looks like it's maybe from Kent, uh, toward that area. Um, okay. We have French here, spécialiste indépendant, occasion toute marque. Um, okay. .be of course. Um, we have De Jaeger. Um, well, that's a strange looking phone number. But is that yeah? That must be some sort of short code for a phone number. Um, yeah, I haven't been seeing a lot of phone numbers. That. Wait, here we have 63. Okay, so if I remember correctly, six is up here. Um, except that it's French, so it has to. I think maybe it's down here then. Um, wait, this has maybe a Fauvillé on it. Okay. Um, okay, I don't know where Fauvillé is. Um, does that sign over there have? I mean, that looks no. Okay, that's just okay. Kilometer 154 N4. Uh, so we may be able to find the N4. Let's see, it's French. Okay, it's probably north of Namur then, between Namur and Brussels. Uh, is there Fauvillers? Jean-Bleu, Martigny, Wavre. Yeah, no, that's getting into Brussels itself, and the area immediately around Brussels is actually mostly Dutch speaking, while the city itself is mostly French speaking. Uh, Jesus Ike, okay. Oh, that's yeah, that's Dutch. Um, Fauvillers. Yeah, it's I mean it's on the A4 and like from we know it's in French and from the appearance I'd say it's probably but okay, so it was actually yeah, I thought it was up here on this N4 and it turns out that it wasn't, it was out here. Yeah, also it being kilometer 134 thinking about that. Um with a country this size, um that I hadn't thought about, what the conventions might be for the bornage on the markers, and it may be that it starts that I know that some countries have a radial system where it starts with 0 here, and then this would be like 134 kilometers from Brussels. So but I don't know what their bornage conventions are for which end gets 0 kilometers and okay, we have Guillaume Lambert land, a sign that looks, like okay, Moss Mechelen. Okay, so Moss Mechelen is on the Moss is the river, um, that it that it's called Meuse in French. Goes through Liège, and so Moss Mechelen has to be farther up here in the Dutch-speaking area. Um, there is another Mechelen in between Antwerp and Brussels. Um, Lucien Schallenborglaan. Um, okay, Guillaume Lambertlaan. Let's see, Moss Mechelen. Yeah, this is still fairly large. I'm unlikely to find little residential streets here. Yeah, there's that Dutch pavement again. You know, uh, creeping Netherlands influence. Um, Although that there you what one thing that's funny is I've actually seen that kind of pavement also in Indonesia on Geofessr. Which suggests that they've been using it for a long time. Uh, yeah, this particular stuff with the in particular this pattern of how the rectangular bricks go together. With a um, let's see, Vignar Svartberg, Opglabek. Okay, that's wait. I know I'm in Moss Mechelen. I just need to find like a road that's findable. Let's see, Outgesonderd Lijnbussen. So this has um wait, that's the wait. Oh, there's one of those leaving municipality or entering signs. Meer Limburg for people that want even more Limburg than they've already got. Um, you know, I don't know how you make Limburg more Limburger, but Moss Mechelen Paul Nicolan. Okay, so I thought it was one of those leaving or entering municipality signs down here, but it looks like it isn't. Um, okay, so it was up. Yeah, so these were just ordinary residential streets in this neighborhood. Guillaume Lambertlaan and Lucien Schallenborglaan. Um, then yeah, so I didn't get into a large road that looks more feasible to find. And okay, so I've been promoted to silver. Okay, and these Geofessr expedition ones I have just three three games per stream, um, and just because of the complications of everything, these things aren't that participatory. What I'm mostly doing is using Twitch to record a YouTube stream, which can be uploaded in a reasonable amount of time. That's interesting. We've got some old bollards there. Um, uh, okay, this is Verkehr Uitgezonder. Okay, so this is Dutch. Um, very flat. So it's probably, like in this area, let's put it between Ghent and Brugge. Um, yeah, I was thinking about how do you tell the difference between Dutch and German, which some people, you know, uh, if you've had some experience on here, but Dutch um, is, it looks much more like English. It mostly has just the there's Ostend ending. Okay, so we know that we're going out of Ostend in that direction. Um, let's see. So that means that we're probably over on this direction from Ostend. Um, also, it should say in the other direct. Oh, those are just entering and leaving Ostend. So um, yeah, there should be a municipality in the a bit down, right, which would then have signs. Oh, here's a map in a map. Naturreservat de Grote Keinout. Um, wait, there's a canal here, or no, maybe more like an estuary, north south. Has ducks in it. Um, yeah, could that be part of this thing over here? Let's see, what was it called again? Dakota, Kenya. Um, hmm, hmm. Fortdijk Sud. Yep. Dutch has that word fart in it. That means travel. Of course, the best usage of the Germanic word fart that means travel is those Swedish signs for the devices in the road that make your car slow down. Those are called farthinder in Swedish. Um, they even have signs that say farthinder. It is the best Swedish road sign. Okay, Forêt communale des Hautes Rivières. So we have French. Um, oh, that actually looks like a French sign and not a Belgian one. We may be right on the border. Uh, Vitesse limitée en France. Okay, so we are at the border. Um, should have the municipality name then. Vous êtes en Champagne-Ardenne. That's now part of Grand Est region, but yes, it is the one that the white sparkling wine comes from. That Champagne. Although not that's actually not from this sort of area. That's more in a flat open environment in Champagne, like around Lake Chateau Thierry. Um, we have Pays des Valais, Lardin Namur. Okay, Namur is so it says Lardin Namuroise. So it has to be a crossing that's near Namur. Maybe this N96. Um, okay. It says Boan, Province de Namur. Where's Boan? It has to be on the border and it has to be in the Province de Namur. So, um, Yeah, not seeing it. Let's see. Chalet Tehur à Louer du Printemps. Okay, so we have a bilingual sign, surprisingly, bilingual signs are not that common in Belgium, because of the strange kind of, like knockdown, drag out, fight bilingualism that they have in Belgium. That the tendency actually is to exclude the other language from your signage. Uh, except right on except right on border areas. Um, it's quite odd. Um, the language policy was the subject of the only political satire in the history of the Smurfs. Apparently, one of the comic books, the Smurfs get into an argument over whether the thing that you open a bottle with, is called a Smurf opener or a bottle Smurfer, and eventually the Smurf village separates into rival factions with a wall between them. Um, hmm. Okay, so we have Rue du Moulin. There's okay, so it looks like that we have, kind of a national standard for at least, like the street signs mounted on walls like this. Um, does that say? It looks like it's something that ends in a T, but okay, it's Rue du Moulin. Uh, we should be able to find another street sign, because they aren't in short supply in this country. Um, and okay, so we know now that, it's French speaking. It looks, again, relatively flat. Um, so you should think probably the Meuse Valley. There's a Peugeot dealer, and the Mercedes-Benz dealer, the Total Station. So, like fairly typical sorts of things. Anu, that's what I think was on that sign. Um, Okay, Anyu also sounds familiar, but I don't know where it is. Um, but I do want to say that it's one of the towns along this area, which, as I said, is kind of the southern limit of the flat terrain. Um, like it. Is it? I want to say it's near Mont. Actually, no, I'm not seeing Anyu there. Let's see, Nivelles. Oh no, that's going into the Brussels area. Charleroi. Shaw was, we may see it. It's kind of bad looking. That, um, we often think of Europe as being a continent of, like fabulous buildings, and pretty things, but Charleroi is not like that. You know, um, it's let's see, Anu we were looking for, right? No, not seeing it. Um, yeah, as I said, the town name sounds familiar. And I forgot to guess, which, you want to do. This is sort of an educational stream. Okay, so it was farther north than I thought, near the boundary of the Dutch speaking area. Here's Liège on the Meuse, and then farther up there's Huy. Uh, I think technically this. Oh no, wait, yeah, that's right. This is the Meuse. This is there's a tributary that goes in from this direction. We called, I think, the Sample, or no, maybe that's over here. I don't know. Uh, that. Oh, there's the Sample over there. That the Sample and the Musmeet at Namur. Okay, that makes more sense. Um, because I know that there's actually Muz, part of it is actually farther south here, that the Meuse actually flows out of a canyon that has Verdun in it. Um, goes up this way, flows into Namur where it combines with the Sample from this direction, and then the Meuse goes, it changes its name to Maas in Dutch, through Maastricht, Maasmechelen, Maas Eik, and then it runs actually all the way up to near Nijmegen and then, enters the confusing and heavily modified lower Rhine Delta. Um, that technically the river in Rotter the this is called the Nieuwe Maas, and that a major feat of engineering on the Rhine Delta in modern times has been to keep the Maas from actually flowing in to the Rhine. And so, in fact, like this Nieuwe Maas in Rotterdam and the Oude Maas over here are not actually tributaries actually have nothing to do with the Maas anymore. That the Maas is supposed to be kept as separate as possible. Emptying into the Hollands Deep right here. Um, and then these tributaries up here are actually where the water from the Rhine comes out. Um, okay, so yeah, these look much more northern French sort of buildings. In architecture, doesn't look Dutch at all. Yeah, so I think this is near Luxembourg from the terrain and everything. That it's very non-flat for Belgium. So it has to be in these hills right here, um, which are called the Ardennes. Uh, the term Ardennes is also used for the same area extending into France. Um, let's see, assess domaine d'animaux. Okay, so this then it's French, and that remember that German is a possibility in the Ardennes as the language, and we know now that it isn't. Um, and German is found, like near Aachen in Belgium, and I think around the town Eupen, and I think also maybe in some areas near Luxembourg. Um, let's see, Relais, Saint Antoine. Um, um, okay, so here we have Ronchin, Guerre de la Vache. What do they mean? What do they mean? The root of the cow war. They've even got a cow on the sign. Okay. Um, we have Durnal, Ronchin. Yeah, I don't know where any of these places are. Uh, yeah, I don't think this is that useful. Um, let's see. Ronchin. Okay. So it was near Dinan, or well, between Dinan and Namur. Um, so let's see. Yeah, I don't even remember seeing a lot of those signs, about pointing to different locations. Yeah, I don't even remember them being here. Um, yeah, and so now I guess since we're in. Okay, so I've got to know what Guerre de la Vache is, the Cow War. Um, okay, the War of the Cow was a conflict. Yeah, there's the street. There's the sign that we saw. Um, okay, was a conflict between the Prince Bishopric of Liège under Bishop John of Enghien. Enghien was actually, remember, on one of those signs earlier, and the Marquisate of Namur under Marquis Guy of Dampierre. Um, became a conflict requiring the arbitration of King Philip III of France. The cause of the war was a theft of a cow by a peasant during a jousting tournament in the city of Ciney, regional capital of Condro. The thief, Enguerrand de Jalais, was caught and ordered to pay a fine to avoid death and return the cow. The bailiff's men mistakenly executed the peasant anyway. Okay. So now we know what the War of the Cow was. Okay. Flandern. Okay, so this is Flandern is the the in the Dutch speaking part of Belgium. It's sometimes used as a synonym for the whole thing, although Flandern is actually just the the uh part around, like Bruges and Ostend. Um Wait, is this the border with France? Uh so we go a step over, we get different coverage. Oh, Mouscron is I mentioned Mouscron before. Actually, is see this corner? We have Mouscron, Kortrijk, and France, and so also that here Mouscron is in Wallonia. You can see the French-speaking part of Belgium, and then that Flanders is used on the map for the Dutch speaking part. And as I said, like Flanders is actually just a part of the Dutch speaking part of Belgium, that more precisely, like Flanders is this area extending actually up as far as Ghent, but and sometimes the term Flanders is even used, for the area around Dunkirk in France. Um, yeah, so we're entering Belgium here, België, Flandern. Okay, so we're entering directly into Flanders, so we have to be um, maybe we're on the M617 there. Um, oh wait, actually this one looks maybe better. Um, let's see. So this road, yeah, the orientation looks right for there. Um, yeah, this A22, that's where we are. We were slightly inside of Belgium, so we do our return to start. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that really bothers, like country streaks type guessers, that this is actually dead on the border. It's hard to say which country we are actually in. And so we end our stream with a 5K. Um, And so some things to notice. I did 15 rounds there. We didn't end up in any of the large cities. There was no Brussels, there was no Antwerp, there wasn't Ghent, there was no Liège. Like we actually every time, we were in relatively rural areas. That There were some larger municipalities we were in. We were actually in Ostende. Um, which I think Ostenda has there's I think there's multiple towns, but in the area there's something like a quarter of a million people. It's a substantial size city, but we were in a rural part of the Ostenda municipality. We weren't in the city, so that's interesting that we got so few urban rounds. And you would think you would get them in Belgium. It is a very densely populated country. Um, I, we didn't end up in Charleroi either, which I've seen, and as I said, is Charleroi is an example of a not beautiful European city. Um, that you have to really see it to know what I mean. Um, but so I guess our next stream coming up, in alphabetical order, BF is Burkina Faso, which doesn't have any official coverage. So the next one will be Bulgaria.